welcome to Sweet Truth. Today I've brought along with me my sister, mum. She's waiting for them compliments today because everyone always tells her that she looks young. But today I brought along with me my mum, and we're going to have a chat about the modelling experience and how parents can feel during that time and, breaking into the industry. So, yes. Hello. Introduce yourself, Mum.
I'm Karen, Paris's mum. I don't know what else to say.
I don't know. You're a mum of how many kids?
I'm a mother of 4 children, Paris, you being one of them, being my eldest.
Yes.
And I have a son who's 19, and you've got 2 little sisters.
You're putting on your posh voice today, Mum. Chill.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But anyway, yeah, so it's quite a busy house at home, isn't it?
It is indeed, yes.
I don't think, because I've got, Monique and Shantae, they're like really young, aren't they? Well, Monique is 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 9.
Glad you got your sister's age right.
And Shantae is 12. Yes.
Yes.
She's going to be watching this and will absolutely kill me. And then Joey is my brother. He's got the normal name out of all of us. And he's a year younger than me, so yeah, it's a bit mad. But I think as of now, I don't know whether it's emerged yet how everyone's going to follow the route. I know Joey's looking to do law, isn't he?
Yeah.
But Monique, what do you think she'll be up to?
I don't know. She did say she wanted to be a chef. And then just the other day, she said she's going to be a children's doctor.
A children's doctor?
Yeah, she's going to be a children's doctor.
Oh, God.
In her words.
I think she's at that point where she's just throwing out any ideas at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's it. She's young. And
she said that she'd want to be a model at one point as well, didn't she?
Yeah, she wanted to be like you. She wanted to do some acting. She wanted to be a model.
I'm a little bit jealous because she's got the good look for it as well.
She's got the eyes.
Yeah.
She's got the eyes, yeah.
Bluey green eyes and then lighter hair. So she'll definitely, be a stunner when she's...
She is, yeah, she will. But those are all my girls.
and boy.
Oh, our son. He's not a stunner, he's handsome.
But yeah, and then Shantae is it's quite interesting actually, Shantae, recently, because of her GCSE options. I think that's definitely a funny talking point to start on.
It probably leads us into the way you've gone through life and school.
Yeah, so basically the situation with Shantae, my 12-year-old sister, is that she's now coming to the point where she's choosing options in school. And I think, I don't know, at the time when I chose options in school, I don't know, you were
sensible.
I was sensible, but I was influenced, I would like to say.
Probably, yes. You're probably influenced by me, I'm not going to lie, yeah.
What do you think your parenting approach is in terms of that then?
I'm probably I'm quite traditional, I think.
Yeah.
Academic-wise, and that's probably because of the way I am.
Yeah.
And I always followed that academic path.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never been arty or, anything like that. You were very theatrical and dramatic, and you liked that side, but you also liked the academic side as well. Yeah. So it was very difficult, and I could see how you were torn. I think when you're talking about Shantae, she's been similar to you, and you wanted to take those performing arts sort of subjects, and I was straight with you, wasn't I? And I said I wanted you to take a language. Because I thought it was important in this day and age to have a language behind you. And that was one thing I wanted. I didn't want you to just pick any subject.
Yeah.
I wanted you to have strong, firm subjects.
I think it's more as well to do with, it's not even, because I know I spoke to some of my mates and they're like, oh, well, I don't have pushy parents and this. It wasn't that I had pushy parents. I think it was more the fact that you saw the potential in me as well. The fact that I was very academic and I was a big maths person and English person and science. I was an all-rounder in terms of academics. It would seem silly for me to just throw out there that I was going to do 3 subjects that were completely, non-academic.
Yeah, because you need a firm base to move on to.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee in another world. So if you want to follow that route, I think you have to have the balance between some maybe some subjects that you like, and also some other more academic type subject. But I was always thinking, no, I'm not a strict parent in that sense, or pushy. But I do want you to also enjoy what you do. And someone always told me at school when I was picking my subjects was, you need to pick something that you enjoyed or you wouldn't do well. So I didn't want you also to do something you absolutely hated and then you failed the exam, and what was the point? That was a waste.
Yeah. No, I definitely see that. I think it was just funny, wasn't it? The way Shantae, she just come out with, I'm going to be a dancer. And we were all like, what? Because it just come out of nowhere though, didn't it?
It was a surprise. And maybe that's something she's got in you, out of you. That she wanted to do the drama, she wanted to do the dance as well. Whereas I was like, well, where's the language?
Where's the German?
I'd like you to do a language. I think it's quite important, but not being too pushy and realising you're getting to that point where, yes, you are going to make your own choices as well. But I think you chose well.
I think I did, because I know at the time I was a bit like, I knew I wanted to do a language and I thought it was the best option, but I also thought, like, German, where the hell am I going to use German?
Germany?
Well, let me tell you that the first international agency I ever had was German.
Well,
Germany, yeah. And
it was meant to be.
Yeah, the first time I got foreign train tickets and plane tickets, and that was all I ever learnt in school. And I know that everyone always says, don't they, like, oh, I learnt French in school, and you never use it, you never use the same things that you learn there. I actually did. I learned platforms of trains and, times and all of that type of stuff. So as soon as I got my aeroplane tickets to go to Germany, that first time that I ever did go, I knew everything. I could translate it on my own and it was done. But yeah, I think it was definitely a good choice from me. But moving on from then anyway, when I didn't initially start with modelling, did I? I started with acting. When I did, maybe explain what the deal was there, because I was still in school, wasn't I? I was in primary school, wasn't I, when I went into...
Yeah, you were very young.
Acting. And there was times that I had to come out of school for that, and I think that's interesting for people to know as well, because there is times that maybe sometimes you have to sacrifice... Well, not sacrifice, but you might have to come out of school or do certain things in order to facilitate the other interests that you have. And I think that's something that parents can be concerned with sometimes, isn't it? Because it's like, well, you're missing school, so what do you do?
School's ultimately the most important thing, and getting an education, as far as I'm concerned anyway, I think, you should do. But also then, if your child does have this other interest like you did and you wanted to pursue an acting career, you don't want to quash your child's dream as well at the same time. So I know it's difficult taking your child out of school, and you were never out of school for long terms, but I know we were always reassured that if it was going to be something long term, there would be on-site tutors and your education would continue, because it is a concern. You don't want to be out of school for weeks or months at a time. I remember when you got the first big job, and you were in London, but they facilitated that and did it in the summer holidays. So that worked out really well. But I do remember the Education Authority having a big issue.
It was the licensing thing that one time.
So children have to be licensed, and then there's rules and regulations, and you can't then just exploit children that way, and they have to be looked after properly. So it was a big learning curve, because I might not have allowed you to take time off school before that. So I realised it was possible for you to still pursue.
Yeah, and I think that's important for people to know, that it doesn't have to compromise education either, and it probably never will in terms of the education you need to do by law, because like you say, if it does go on long enough, they will facilitate that, where you will have tutors on set and whatever. But yeah, I think that's something that people do need to know, that it's not something to shy away from, and that there is ways of working around it. The fact that I did have, the best job that I ever did have acting was actually in the school summer holidays, and it was a case of going back to school and how was everyone's summer holidays and what did you do? And then I come back and said, I filmed a Sky One show actually for 2 months and lived in London.
Was great, wasn't it?
So that was like a massive thing for me. It was definitely...
It was enjoyable for me as well.
As my chaperone. Yeah. But that's another thing as well, because if you're under a certain age, you'll have a chaperone. So that type of concern that you have with parents where you might be on your own or whatever, that's seen to and facilitated, and the council overlooks that type of thing anyway and makes sure that there are, you know, guardians there to supervise and whatever.
Yeah, because you don't want your child going off doing these things by themselves. So.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the contrast between my life and yours, because today it's been a bit of a it's been a first for everything today, hasn't it? Like, you've come in, I've brought my mum to this crazy warehouse in Manchester, but then we've got this gorgeous studio in here, and this is what it's like, really. Like, I think we talk about it all the time on this series, the fact that modelling is like this glamorous thing, and then the behind the scenes bit is really not that glamorous. Like, it's
maybe not.
It's like, I don't know, it's great, but there are parts of it that you don't realise are going to be like they are. You know, we were looking down the road at like some amazing brands and things, and you would expect to be greeted by this like massive building, and then it's like sort of tucked away inside Manchester somewhere, and then you go inside and it's absolutely gorgeous on the inside, but from the outside you could walk past it and not know that some of the biggest brands in, well, I could even say the world, if we're regarding someone like Pretty Little Thing, because they are very global, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah,
I don't know whether you know. Yeah, but yeah, these type of things exist as little hidden gems in Manchester. But anyway, so you've come here today, you've come on a podcast for the first time.
I know, that's all new.
Have you ever listened to a podcast?
Only yours. I've listened to one in work, and we have to, but no, this is all a brand new experience for me. And
you've never really, because I know you had like a really big hands-on experience with acting, and you took me to my auditions and you did all of that, and you see me act. Whereas here with like modelling, you don't really see much of it. You just see the pictures that come out of it.
I've only seen the videos and the pictures that you take afterwards.
And sometimes the stress, but at home.
The stress, and everything that comes along with it.
Yeah.
That I didn't really appreciate beforehand. Because it's true that you think of it as so glamorous and this and that, and exciting as well. But I see the other side of it as well now, and you know, it's hard work. And
do you think maybe your respect has changed for models then, before maybe how you felt about them prior to me getting into modelling? Yeah, because you know, models were portrayed in a certain way whilst I was growing up, and I've gone through the supermodel era, and then we've gone to the very, very thin models, and then to have my own daughter then coming into the industry, where I always thought you were beautiful as a model, and I thought it was great that you did it. You always thought that, I think there was a bit of a stigma attached to models, as though they weren't very intelligent and they were only pretty faces and thin bodies. So when you started doing it, it did open my eyes, and meeting some of your friends as well, and some of them being university students. Yeah. So it was like, well, yeah, you know, these women or men can be intelligent, normal people, just going forward and doing something they like to do. I think it's more to do with the fact as well that we are just very normal people. Like when I went to see my misguided poster in Selfridges in Birmingham. Yeah, when I got there, I was looking at it, and I asked someone to take a picture because I was on my own. People around were like, "Oh my God, are you a model?" and this and that. I'm like, yeah, I flew out to France to do this thing, but at the end of the day, I'm going to get a train back. I'm going to open my laptop up on the train, and I'm going to do some work for uni tomorrow. And that's just how it goes. I don't know whether there's going to be a modelling job again after that. It's very uncertain, and I think when you actually really understand that, you realise how normal and people are in the industry, because they have the same type of anxiety, if not sometimes more in some areas, than your average person as well. Because you don't think, oh my God, when is my next day of work?
No, I get up every day, do I, and go to work. I know when I'm going to get paid. It's constant, it's settled, permanent. But with you, yeah, you don't know where the next job's going to come from. And you have to live with that anxiety and maybe even stress if it comes to how you're going to earn your money.
I think it makes me feel a lot better though, like knowing that I've got a parent that's got a lot of specialties in yeah, a lot of skills and knowledge in certain things. I know that if I get into any I don't know, legal issues, then you can help me out. And on that note, we should really talk about what you do as a job.
Well, as you know, yeah, I'm a criminal lawyer. So that's full-time, stressful job.
Yeah.
Very intense, but something I'm very proud.
Do you think that influenced? Sometimes I look back, because I obviously study law now, and I say to my friends, there's so many things that I think differently about, like, when I go and travel abroad and I go to Germany, I do have a lot of things in the back of my head. Oh my God, what if this happens? What if this happens? Because I read a lot of cases and understand it's a real possibility that some people are really not nice in this world, and you see some of the most horrible cases. And it sort of, I don't know, brings it home that there is real dangers out there. Do you think that ever impacted your parenting style? Because sometimes I think, is that why my mum and dad were a little bit more stricter than the other parents, and why they had to really get to know parents before I could stay over at other people's houses and things like that?
Yeah, I think it did. I think doing this job, especially going into criminal, it can have its cons, because you do have an insight into the world that other people don't see, or are not ignorant but close their minds and don't realise everything that's going on. So I do see things happening to children,
Yeah,
and that does have an impact. And the worst type of work I've ever dealt with is anything that's been related to a child a similar age to my children at that time. And I found it really hard to deal with. But it does, and it makes you sometimes a little bit suspicious and sceptical. And, I will be down the street and I'll be, oh, what are they up to? What are they? I see things that I didn't see before, and it does make me aware of when you're out and about, what dangers are out there. There are people who are not too nice.
Yeah.
So I do get concerned about you. I can't help that, and it's going to continue forever. But I think having this job probably increases that concern.
How did you ever think, obviously because of the whole, I hate saying like drawing emphasis on the Me Too movement in a way that makes it seem like sexual assault and harassment is a new thing, because obviously it's not. It's been around for so long, but because of all of this, and I know it's constantly, I think it's more the fact that we have a behaviour now where we do call out to all of this now, and nothing can happen now where people won't go and check someone and say, listen, this isn't right, and we don't deal with this anymore, and we don't like this anymore, this type of behaviour, it can't happen anymore, we're not putting up with it. Do you think that being in the headlines all the time and hearing about these things, did you see the headline ages ago of the girl, and she went to Milan and got kidnapped? She went for a modelling photo shoot. Does it ever make you think, I hope Paris is okay and things like that?
Yeah, I was really worried when you went off, abroad for the first time, and it's like, you'd said that was the first time you'd flown on your own, and I haven't even flown on my own anywhere. I've always been with somebody. So to send you off, a young lady, young woman, who's new to the world as well as an adult, it is concerning. And there are predators out there, not just in your industry, but just in general. So it is it's foolish to say that it's only just come to the forefront and it's only just happening, because we know it's been ongoing for a long time. It's just hopefully now more people appreciate that it's wrong, what's wrong, and are actually courageous enough to stand up. And
do you believe, you know, because sometimes people say, and I don't know whether you've ever said it, I know my dad used to say, like, oh, it was safer back when I was a kid. Like, I used to be able to get on a bus anywhere and go here, and nowadays, and people say a lot about going out in clubs, because obviously there's a lot of stabbings all the time and things like that. But do you think it's got any more dangerous than it has been, or do you think it's more the fact, like with the Me Too movement, it's more the fact that we're calling it out more and
more aware?
Yeah, more aware of it.
I think society is definitely more aware of it. I think it's reported a lot more in the media. When I was younger, there was still violence. It was more shootings when I was younger. And now it's moved on to it's more stabbings.
Yeah.
So it still makes me concerned about you going out, but, you know, things still happen. When I was younger, it's just, I think it's more out there, and people are more aware now.
Is there anything that puts your mind at ease then, in terms of me in this job and, I don't know, like, these type of possibilities? Do you think?
Well, I've seen the way you've handled it. You know, you mature for your age. You're a very confident young woman. So, you know, I think you can deal with situations. I don't think anything would take away the fear, full stop.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you're sensible enough to use the right avenue. Or you're very good with me, telling me about things that have happened. So I think your self-confidence helps. I know it's not going to stop anything from happening, but it helps me to feel a little bit more relaxed about your attitude, because of your attitude.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, definitely. I think, I don't know, it's one of them things, isn't it? It's like you say, that fear never really goes away as a parent. But also agencies help out as well. And I think maybe you've got, you know, you're a bit more reassured by the fact that I've got an agency and they sort of check some things out sometimes in regard to jobs, and like it's normally people that they know.
Yeah, I think that's good, because they're monitoring the people who are employing you. Obviously relevant checks are done, and yeah, it's a lot more controlled. It's a controlled environment, so you're not just going out there, going to some remote place. Someone's actually looking out for your best interests. So I think that is reassuring too.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, is there any tips that you would give then? I think, for one, I mean, do you understand more the mental health side of things these days as well? And
yeah, obviously that's a big thing as well.
Yeah.
It's a big thing everywhere across the border. It's going to be, but also, yeah, I can see it in your world reflected too. Mm-hmm. Your world. No, yeah. You still live in my world. But
I brought you in this world, don't let me take you out.
Yeah, you've given me an insight into it, but I can see how mental health could be relevant there, and depression, and like we say these days now, you know, mental health is a lot more than what it was when I was younger. Mm-hmm. People understand that there's not the stigma attached as well. Mm-hmm. So that's really good.
I think in terms of tips, it would be like sort of prepare yourself for the mental health aspects of it. Make sure you're looking after your mental health well-being in the job and just in life anyway, in general. But I think you've got to take that extra self-care, just because there are so many things. You've got to have thick skin in this industry.
I think you have to go into it knowing about the industry as well, and what you're going to encounter out there and how it will be.
Yeah.
You'll have those periods of maybe where you won't work, or...
And have a backup, like we said.
That was always my plan for you, a backup.
And now the backup's taken over my life.
Well, you know, the problem is it's so uncertain.
Yeah.
So, like you say, because I was so academic, I wanted you to be academic, you were intelligent. I wanted you to do well. But it was important for me so you did have that backup, and I think you did appreciate that in the end.
No, definitely. But I don't think you even... Obviously, in my case, I was academic. If you're not academic, you can still have a backup. And I have friends... You know, I have a friend who dances, and she's amazing. But she also does nails on the side, and, like, works in the salon as well, so she can do that. And that's a nice lifestyle change as well. It's not always just for the financial side of things. It's sort of for a change and just to feel a little less pressure sometimes. And
more secure.
Yeah. So I think that's good. I don't know, what's another tip that we can really give people? I think to have a good conversation with your agencies as well and parents and make sure that they're involved in things. I think knowing where I'm going is always good. I know did I send it into the family group chat once, like when I was in Germany, and I sent like a location link and you could track me like live location just in case.
I think, having an open dialogue with people. I think if parents are supportive, I know sometimes they're a bit apprehensive, but if you're supportive of your child and just be there for them. Because I know you still need me. You still needed me when you were in Germany. You still called me.
Yeah.
So you don't want to break off that. You want to support your child. You know that they can be safe as long as you teach them to look after themselves.
Yeah, and just be vigilant as always. And I hate saying that because I feel like it should be it should go without saying, but sometimes it doesn't go without saying, and you do have to be aware
of your surroundings and everything. I'm a strong believer in that.
Really organise things, and just be aware of the places that you're going to. With me in Germany, you can use Citymapper. I don't use Citymapper, I use Google. That's really good. It gives you even like alarms when you're like getting off the train at your stop, so you don't miss your stop, which was really good that time when I had to get a flight back and you were out. She was on a night out, ladies and gentlemen, whilst I was in Germany on a subway train back to the airport, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
I was still worrying. That's what mobile phones are for these days.
But that type of thing, like having Google where it give me a notification just in case I fell asleep or something on the train, and it gives you a notification before you get off the stop. So little things like that really help you out, especially nowadays as well. Like everything that you need is on your phone, but also be aware of that as well, because you never want to be fully reliant on that and lose it.
Exactly, and your battery goes. So you still have to have it up here and be able to work around the situation without relying on any kind of electronic device.
Yeah. Well, I think on that note, we've gave a couple of tips. We've had a nice conversation. Thanks for coming today, Mum.
Thanks for inviting me. It's been a new experience. I've loved it.
Are you going to come again?
Yes.
I've loved it. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.
So therefore, I'm going to be 100 with you and tell you really what it was.
It just got real.